Welcome to the Black Storytellers. My name is Kevin Marable, and today we have two very special guests with us. One's a comedian, actor, writer, director, and digital powerhouse, Bigg Jah, also known as Jadai Pickett.
Jade.
He's Jade. My
Yes, sir.
apologies.
It's all good.
Jade Pickett.
I've been getting Jadai my whole life, bro. So it's all good. I ain't offended. I've been
All
getting
right, I got you.
Jadai, but nah, it's all good. It's all
Trust
love.
me, I know, man. My last name is crazy too, so I get all types of spellings and mispronunciation. So I
Oh, shit.
apologize, man.
It's all love.
But yeah. So he's built a massive following through viral sketches and beloved characters, including the Lesbian Homie series, Tiberius, The Whole Crew is Stupid. Beyond YouTube and social platforms, he's made his mark in feature films like Sylvie's Love and Domino Battle of the Bones, and TV shows like Millennials. As a true independent creator, he runs his own productions, writing, directing, acting, distributing his work while growing his brand into a one-man studio. We also have with us the co-founder and former CEO of Funk Volume, one of the most successful independent hip-hop labels of the 2010s, and has since shifted his focus toward helping independent artists and creators build their business around their own content. Today, we are joined by none other than Bigg Jah and Dame Ritter. How you guys doing?
It's cracking, man. I'm doing great. Doing great.
Doing good.
Yes.
Feeling
Awesome.
good.
Awesome. It's great to have you guys on. John, obviously I've been following you. And Dame, I actually got to know you a little bit through Ja, and, through social media. But I have a few questions that I like to ask. And I also like to start off with a very simple question, but some might find it a little difficult to answer. Are you ready?
Yes.
All right, Ja, I'm gonna start with you first.
All
Who
right.
is Bigg Jah?
Man, Big John is a thorough, solid man, first and foremost, man. You know, yeah, I'm a man, I'm a husband, I'm a son, you know what I'm saying? I'm a brother.
Mhm.
And then I'm an entertainer. So starting with I probably would say actor, director, filmmaker, writer. In any order you decide. I do all four. And yeah, man. Hopefully, I'm a good person.
Hopefully, you're a good person.
Great person. Great person.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Multifaceted, man. Multifaceted, talented in various arenas. That's for sure. That's for sure. And so for you, Dame, who is Dame Ritter?
Man, a lot of the same things. I'm a son. I'm a brother. I'm a new father to an
Congrats.
8 week
Congrats.
old. Professionally, I feel like I'm a catalyst to help people accomplish what they want to accomplish. I try to bring that infrastructure that really helps creative folks see things through because it's very difficult to do what Ja does without structure, right? That's typically what a lot of creatives are missing. So that's what I try to bring to the table. I've been working with independent creators since 2008. Prior to that, I was in the corporate world, doing banking and consulting. So I got that background as well. But I really enjoy just helping good people, do what they love to do. So I would
Man,
say a catalyst.
absolutely. Absolutely. So, Ja, I definitely have to ask, where did the name Bigg Jah come from? And, how did you know that you wanted to get into this space?
Big John. My name is Jade Pickett. That's my full name. And I was a big baby, so I've been Big John since birth. I was the biggest baby in the nursery. I was 11 pounds and some change.
Whew.
Yeah. Biggest baby in the nursery, man. So even when I was 10 years old, I looked 15. When I was 15, I looked 20. So I was always a bigger kid, bigger guy. So
Mhm.
Big Job. It just stuck. Yeah, man. So that's where it came from. Just a name that I was called growing up. And then even more so, um, that's the name I rock with. People call me Ja or they call me Jade.
Mhm.
Some people call me Jay,
Mhm.
and some people call me Big Ja. So when it comes to creation, when it comes to social media, Big Ja. Of course, my homeboys who I grew up with, they might call me Big Ja here and there, but for the most part, I'm this Ja.
Okay. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And how did you know that you wanted to get into the entertainment space?
Man, okay, so I loved comedy. You know, my uncle for sure, my dad's brother, my uncle Jim had a collection of like laser disc back in the day. This is how
Wow.
far back this goes. Laser disc before CDs. He had
Yeah.
the laser disc player, and he had a wall full of VHSs of videotapes.
Mm,
And going to his house was like going to a blockbuster,
hmm.
um, and sitting down and just watching movies all day. So I would go visit my cousins, and I would like ask my cousin Antonio, "Let's watch this, let's watch that." So I've always liked movies. I've always been an entertainer, been silly, been funny my whole life. So I also do stand up comedy. I'm a stand up comedian as well. So
Hmm.
I've always wanted to perform, and football was my passion growing up. So I went to college and to play football, and with hopes to go to the NFL, and then retire from there and become a filmmaker after that.
Right.
Never got to the NFL, but the filmmaking part is what I'm doing, and I'm gonna
Mm,
do it forever, man. So like I
yeah.
realized I asked myself, what do I want to do outside of sports? You know, I thought I wanted to be an architect when I was about 10 years old, or a designer engineer. Actually, that's what I wanted to be. When
Wow.
I was like 10, 11 years old. And I realized I don't like math. And I was like, nah, I'm not doing that. You know what I'm saying? So, but I've always loved taking pictures. I've always liked, when I got my hands on the camera, I filmed everything.
Hmm.
I drove around, I walked around back when I was a kid, and I was asking everybody to do something in front of the camera.
Hmm.
And even when I got to college, I took on my recruiting trips. I was taking the camera and interviewing everybody that would get in front of my camera. So that was way back when, and so I knew this is what I wanted to do. When I got that camera in my hand, I said, "This is what I want to do,"
Yeah.
and tell stories. You know,
Hmm.
So
Let me
John,
ask you. Oh, go
John
ahead.
and I go back. So we met in college, and we weren't like super tight in college, but you can always tell. You know, even if you meet somebody for a brief period of time, you can always like just from their energy, you can tell like somebody's just super cool. And
Right.
Ja, when we did get together, we don't have that many black people at Cal. So when there was like events and things, talent shows and things like that, you know, I always knew Ja was funny, just a funny cat.
Yeah.
So you saw it like that early, and obviously he's talking about even earlier than that. But when I met him, you know, it just kind of had the personality. And then it makes a lot of sense, you know, when I look back at the person who he was then.
right? Yeah,
Wow.
we met in college, man. Like Dame said, we weren't the tightest in college, but we knew each other for sure, and
Right.
we have a lot of tight mutual friends.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
so I've always known Dame. Dame is a year ahead of me. So my freshman year, he was a sophomore. I've known him since day one, but we didn't really get extremely tight until after college,
Right.
you know. And but that's just the thing. We have a lot of the same friends for 20 years. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it was only a matter of time that we was gonna link. And I always knew he was solid. You know what I'm saying? Even the guys who I know guys who knew him better than I knew him talked
Yeah.
about him well. You know what I'm saying? He's been the same dude since we was like 19, 18 years old, man. So
How did you two know to come together and begin to build this up as far as in the entertainment space? Obviously, you guys knew of each other in college. Uh, did each one of you know? Did Dame? Did you know that Ja was into this? And Ja, did you know that Dame had the mindset and the wherewithal to want to get in on the business side?
Yeah, neither one of us predict. Well, neither one of us predicted this because I didn't know I was getting into music. I like
right,
getting into music in 2008 was me getting laid off from Deloitte. I was working at Deloitte in Chicago as a consultant. I got laid off. My brother hit me. It just so happened to line up with when my brother called me, said he wanted to drop out of school and do music.
mm-hmm.
He had a friend of his named Hobson that was equally as frustrated, but signed to a label at the time.
Right.
But they wanted to get together and do like an independent thing. And it just so happened that I had the time because I had just gotten laid off to help
Hmm.
him out. So that's how I got into music. And I'll fast forward to when we started doing well and we needed somebody else to go on the road with the artist as security. I knew Ja had been doing security. So I reached out to Ja to help us with security. And that's how we reconnected in
Wow.
entertainment.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Even before that, I was doing stand up comedy at the Comedy Union, and
Hmm.
I don't know if I think I might have posted it, but Dame ended up going to the show. Dan went to the show. This is back maybe around 2009, 10,
Yeah.
when his label was maybe a year old, you know. And so, and he saw me doing comedy and saw me doing stand up. Hopefully, I think I was funny enough. Obviously, I was, because he was like, "Let's try to find a way to mix comedy with
Yeah.
the music." So he was, and this was back in 2009. I want to say it was that early, and he already he had a. I think that's a gift that a lot of people don't have, but he has it, and just a few people that do have it, where they see, like he said, he's a catalyst. They
Mhm.
see talent in different places and find ways to mesh it. You know what I'm saying? To collaborate it. And yeah, I hosted an online chat of a show that him and that Swizz and Hobson put on in Hollywood, and I was a new comic back then. You know what I'm saying? And there wasn't many people in the crowd back then either. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But they was
Yeah.
grinding, and so he had me do that, and then we kind of like kept in touch. But he probably kept in touch more than I did, because I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do, what I'm trying to
Right.
do.
Yeah.
It wasn't until 2014 where I had just finished going back to film school. I had just graduated doing a program, because it's 10 years since I graduated. And I was like, well, I wonder what's going on right now in the film space. What are they being taught? Because at that time I'm a substitute teacher at the time. So
Oh
yeah,
man.
back in '09, I was a personal trainer back when I was in shape, and then I became a substitute teacher, and then I started this. I wasn't working in film. I wasn't doing nothing creative. And I was
Mhm.
now, other than doing stand up, I was doing stand up, and I was auditioning for stuff, but nothing doing my own independent thing. I wasn't doing that at all.
Right.
And I have a film degree from Berkeley, and I just wasn't really using it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I just found my way. I found my, how you just not feeling complete, and you got to get back to what makes you happy. So I went
Mhm.
back to film school in 2014, just to brush up on what's new, because
Mhm.
the new cameras is digital now, and so I had just graduated from that program, and I was trying to get a job in the film department, in the film equipment room of that school, and I went to a movie by myself. That's one thing I'll do. I'm gonna go to the movies, whether it's with
I
somebody
do
or
the
by
same.
myself.
Yeah.
I'm a movie guy, man. So
Do
I
the
just
same.
finished the movie. You turn your phone off. I turned my phone back on when the movie was over, and I got all these notifications. I got a notification from Dame Ritter, like a blast email asking people if they know any off duty or retired police officers or off duty security guards that would or might be interested in going on the road and doing security. And so I wasn't particularly interested in doing security anymore. But
Yeah.
I texted him. He's a homie, so I was like, "Hey man, what's going on? How you doing, bro? It's a long time no talk." And I just sent him a message. And he was like, "Can I call you?" And so yeah, so I'm still in the theater. People leaving, people walking past me, and so we in the theater. And he was just telling me about what his mind was at, where his mind was at, and if I was interested. And I was like, I don't know, man. I just finished this program this film program. I'm excited. I just shot a short film that was the best in my class. I'm like,
Mhm.
I'm eager to start shooting, bro. So I don't know if I want to leave LA and go on the road and doing security for artists. I'm like, do I got to carry a gun? What kind of artist
Right.
is this? Like, nah, I'm thinking of all those things. So I wasn't eagerly eager. I wasn't eager to say yes. So he
Right.
took me to think about it and give me maybe a couple of days. I said it's about a week and a half before he actually goes on a quick tour run to Oregon and on the West Coast.
Mhm.
You don't have to let me know, no pressure, but let me know if you're interested. Give yourself a couple of days if possible. Hang the phone up. I'm still in the theater. I'm looking at the theater screen. And I'm like, man, do I want to leave? And I promise you, I was like, maybe this is a sign.
Yeah.
Maybe this is a
Yeah.
sign. Because I remember him. I felt like I missed the opportunity to work with him years ago prior with the Funk Volume, the comedy thing. Because I wasn't focused. I was all over the place. I'm focused in this film thing. And this is like the day after I graduate. And I'm eager to start shooting. And then he calls me. I'm like, I don't know about going on tour, man, and leaving. And but then I said, man, you don't have a job, first of all, because I was in school, I was a student,
Yeah.
and he was like, and I was like, man, I'm this might be a sign from God, man, because I listened to those, and
Yeah.
and it happened to be that because even though I went on the tour, I did security for Funk Valiant for 4 years, and I'm traveling the country. I'm away from L.A., but on my off time when we're not on tour, I got the space and the cushion, the space and the cushion to create.
Yeah, to do what you
And,
want.
and that was a blessing in disguise.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and being on tour with these young artists that are living out their dreams was just so much motivation for me. I was like, I would get off stage like, man, as soon as he lets me go, because I got to go everywhere he goes, except the shower in the bathroom. Everywhere he goes, I got to be there. So a lot of times he just be kicking it, sitting back, green room, or in the back of the bus smoking, and then I'm on my computer. I'm on my way. I'm in my mind thinking about what to create. You know, so that's kind of how it started, really, on tour in 2014.
Yeah.
Wow.
This,
That's an interesting story. It's crazy how the two of you knew each other. Then there was some distance in between, and then you guys came back about 4 or 5 years later, and picked right back up. Like you never left. And like you were saying, you listened to the signs of, it was like God was talking to you. It's like maybe this is a sign. Things begin to open up for you, and now you're on tour. Now you have more space to be creative in your free time. When did you know, or when did you come up with the concept of, you know what, I'm going to start to take some of my comedic bits and turn them into skits?
Man, 2017, I was doing like videos before that on Instagram, little quick rants and quick videos where I'm playing the same character, two or three different characters, but the same person. But I was supposed to go to Europe with Dizzy Wright, and I was usually he hits me up ahead of time, like a week or two ahead of time. Like, hey, bro, you ready? This that the other, and I hadn't heard from him in a while, and I called him like a week before he was going on tour, and he gave me the news that he wasn't going to be able to take me to Europe because it wasn't his tour. We were on another tour. He's a headlining artist, so usually when I'm on tour, I'm on his tour, and we're going. And he's the headlining act. In this case, he was supporting, but he was going on tour in Europe, and you're only able to take like 3 or 4 guys with him, and he wasn't able to take me. Bummer, because now I'm thinking like, oh, I'm expecting that money for one, and all the gigs I was going to be doing, I was still kind of like doing freelance directing, music video directing and stuff like that, editing jobs. I was denying them because I was about to be gone for a month and a half. So when he told me I wasn't going, I was like, oh no, damn, it's the first time I never went with him in almost 4 years. So I was like, okay, damn, what I'm gonna do with myself? Now, once again, I honestly think a blessing in disguise because I started shooting. I was like, man, let me dust these cameras off and start shooting small sketches. Now I'm at home with nothing to do and no job at this point, and I'm like, man, what am I gonna do? A buddy of mine called me. He was like, what's up, bro? You in town? I was like, yeah. He was like, can you come by my house and shoot this sketch for me and my lady? I was like, yeah, it's my partner, one of my boys. Shout out to my boy Clayton Thomas. And he lives up the street from me, less than 8 minutes away. So I go over there, shoot this sketch. I shoot 2 sketches for him. And mind you, I used to do this before that. Before I was going on tour, I was doing freelance DP work and cinematography work for a lot of comedians that were shooting comedy sketches and short films and stuff like that. So he knew I was a guy to call. So I went over there, shot 2 sketches for him. He asked me, can I come back the next day? I was like, yeah, I ain't got nothing else to do, bro. Yeah, I got you. So I came back the next day. And that second day, he was like, hey, bro, I got one of the guys coming over to shoot with me. His name is KP. And he runs a sketch house, a social media creator sketch house in Van Nuys. Wow. And that's the neighboring city over. And he was like, you should check it out. It's every Thursday from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. And then I met KP that day on the second day. He invited me. Yeah, bro, it's invite only. And you're invited. Come through and check it out. And so I went there, and that's kind of how it started. Everything domino effect. And that's like a week after me not going to Europe, I get a call from him to come over and do this, and I get invited to go to the sketch house, and that's when things change for me. I go to this house. It's about a 3-4 bedroom house, and there's about 40, 50 people in the house. Wow. Standing around, shooting sketches on their cell phones. I'm old school, so I started. I'm a camera guy.
Yeah.
Video camera guy, cinema camera guy. So I see all these people shooting sketches on their phones, and I see all this creativity. I see actresses and actors walking around. I'm like, man, this is dope. And it's
Yeah.
every Thursday.
And you say this is 2014, 2015,
This is
around
by
that
this
time?
time. This is 2017.
2017.
Yeah,
Wow.
I
Okay.
started doing security with Dame and Film Volume 2014. So
Okay.
around 2017 is when I started getting back into shooting my sketches on the weekly basis.
Wow.
Yeah, and it all
No,
started
that's
from me being off, but almost being laid off. Not laid off because because the next tour I'm on, but this
right.
tour you're not gonna need me. So
Right.
I'm laid off for the time being, and
You got some
the window
space.
open.
Got some
Yeah,
time.
and they open up, and then by the time I go back on the next tour, I got sketches to edit while I'm on tour now. You know what I'm saying? So yeah,
Wow. So that was your introduction to basically a content house.
yes,
And I don't know if content houses were big at that time in 2017. Obviously, you
yeah.
hear about them, maybe 2019 through, through the COVID years or whatever. But
Even before that, 2014, 15,
okay,
16, I was seeing Vine. They call them Vine houses, or you know what I'm saying?
uh,
When Vine was really
which,
popping.
yeah, that which would make sense because at that time, like you're saying, Vine was popping. It was a new thing, a new craze. Obviously, I don't think it really hit the East Coast like that.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe we weren't familiar here on the East Coast to content houses and everybody getting together and just doing mass content at once and kind of building up these brands and the individuals becoming your own individual brand and doing
Yeah.
things on an independent level.
Yes.
um, Things like that weren't really heard of at the time, and so you guys really helped pave the way to what is now the influencer or the UGC creator or the person who does social media skits and sketches and whatnot. It definitely changed the game, and it's still changing the game in real time as we're speaking.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's crazy. So okay, so you visit this sketch house, and while you're at the sketch house, it's opening your eyes and your mind to new possibilities. At that point, was that when it dawned on you, like, this is what I want to do moving forward? I'm going to start to do this full time, or was
No,
this just something to kind of fill your time in between while you were on tour, and then later it dawned on you like, I can make this a full-fledged business?
no, that's when I went to the sketch house. I brought my camera. I brought my bag. I brought a couple of
Yeah,
lights, my camera bag, and I didn't shoot nothing. It was too much going on. Nobody knew me. I was just this big dude walking around. No one knew I was an actor. No one knew I was a filmmaker. They were like, "Who is this dude?" No one
yeah,
said that, of course, but I only knew 3 people in the house out of like 40 some people.
wow,
And so I sat there and watched. I didn't know any of the actresses. I didn't know any of the actors. So
yeah,
it wasn't like I could just shoot anything. And I was just watching how things was going and the flow of things. And they were taking turns. Like there's only 3 bedroom sets, and they're in the living room set. There's 2 living rooms or two. There's a den in the living room and a kitchen, and they're taking. I'm shooting I'm doing the take here, and this other group is doing the take here, and they're waiting. They're like, "Hey, I'm about to film one, so you got to be quiet for those 2 3
right,
minutes for that take." And then when they're done with that take, they got to be quiet for you to get your take. And even if you got to repeat your take again, you got to wait for them to be done, and you go right back into doing another take. And that was the way how they ran that. And I thought I was like, "Oh, this is dope." It's
yeah,
it's a lot. It's mayhem, but it teaches you as a filmmaker. It's like microwave filmmaking, a crash
yes,
course, a
yeah,
crash course. And then if you pay attention, you can learn a lot doing that. You can be very resourceful. You know what I'm saying?
right,
Ingenuity is extremely high in that environment because you find ways to work, and they support you. They're gonna be quiet for you.
hmm
They might give you ideas. Say this, say this. So you got an audience also. It's video, it's film, but it's still like a live audience because there's 30 people watching you. Sometimes they
yeah,
might mess up. They might laugh, and you got to do it over and over again. If you look at
hmm
some of my old sketches, you'll hear people in the background laughing and talking. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? So, but yeah, I knew then I got the bug again because it's hard to when you don't have any money and you don't have any really support system. Only people I knew at that age was former athletes and comedians.
hmm
No God, nobody with cameras. Even though I went to film school, but I went to film school in the Bay. So, and anybody that I know is still up there. And I didn't know too many filmmakers because I was so busy playing football. I
hmm
went to film school. I learned, but I didn't build a fellowship with the other film students. I was
Hmm.
going to class and they had to be at practice up at the stadium every single day. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't have that network. So coming to the sketch house, I'm like, oh snap! These are people who are doing the same thing I'm doing with no budget,
Hmm.
and they're building a following. And when you have no budget, no crew, you have to lean on your creativity. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we did. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
most definitely do.
yeah, and then you guys become each other's crew.
Right.
Hold my camera. Like my first Tiberius sketch. Shout out to my boy Clayton. The first thing when I walk into the alley and I go into my line, what to do though? It's the big homie Tiberius. He's holding the camera. He don't even know how to film. I had to show him how to hold the camera, keep it steady. His arms
Hmm.
was getting tired because he was holding it up, and I kept doing
Yeah.
several takes. And
Yeah.
I'm teaching him how to do it, push record, and that's how I did it. Before I was able to hire any DP, any cinematographer, any
Wow.
lighting guy, any sound guy, I had the homies do it.
Hmm. Yeah. So it's real grassroots level, boots on the ground. You know, making things happen with just your imagination and a
Mm-hmm.
camera.
Yeah.
And you had a built-in support system with this network of people that you were able to
Shout
meet
out to Sketch House for sure.
and connect. Yeah.
Mhm.
Um, so once you got through all of that, correct me if I'm wrong, but was your first sketch of the Tiberius the Hood Hitman? Was
That
that
was my
your
third. That was my third sketch, but that was my first
okay?
sketch that took off. So it was my third sketch. My
Okay.
first sketch was I wasn't even at the sketch house yet. It was this. I did a joke with me and my boy Craig. Shout out to my boy Sean Alexander. He filmed it. But and then my second sketch was at the sketch house. And after that, I edited that video. I put it up. I was so excited about it. I'm shooting every day now. That's
Yeah.
when I made the decision. I was like, man, I'm about to do this every day and drop at least 2 to 3 times a week until something happens for me from brand wise to
Yeah.
financially. I'm just gonna keep doing it. I'm in. I'm involved now, all the way.
I was just going to ask, how did you know it worked when you once you posted it online? What was it? The numbers, the amount of viewership, the amount of comments and reactions that you received. How did you know that the sketches were working?
When Tiberius hit, my boy called me. My boy Alan, my brother Alan called me on, and he told me on Facebook it's going crazy. I wasn't even
Okay.
paying attention to Facebook. I was on Instagram. That was I wasn't really paying attention to YouTube or Facebook because they wasn't really showing me no love.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
Instagram is where I was kind of like my biggest platform at the time
Right.
because I was getting the biggest feedback. And biggest feedback is like 10 views. You know what I'm saying? 10
Yeah.
views, 4 comments. And I was like, oh, that's enough. At least they liking it. Cool. I'm gonna keep doing it. So and but my boy hit me up. He was like, man, that video is going crazy. He said
Hmm.
10,000 views. I said, 10,000 views?
Wow.
What? So I went to Facebook, and every minute and a half I would refresh it, and it was like another 10,000 views. And then
Wow.
in the first 3 days, it hit 1 million views. That Tiberius sketch, and I was like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
because I used to always think about when is my moment going to hit.
Right.
Like I would watch. I mean, I've been on social media watching the Dormtainment guys
Hmm.
back in the day. What's his name? Damn, I'm drawing the blank.
I know you. I know you talking
Yeah,
about that.
all the guys that was the 2014, 15, 16
Yeah.
batch, watching Batch and watching Day
Yeah.
Storm,
Hmm.
watching
They're all they came from
all the
Vine.
guys.
Yeah,
They
they
were
came from Vine.
so yeah, they came from Vine, and then
Hmm.
and I was like, man, what do I got to do to get myself in that position? Honestly, and because
Right.
I was doing videos here and there through
Hmm.
2014, 15, 16, and nothing was really happening. People, most of the people that was responding, and it was my homeboys from high school and college and family. Oh, that's funny. That's yeah, of course. Y'all know that I'm funny. So it's easy. I need the strangers to know I'm funny. I need the
Right.
strangers who don't know me at all to comment. That's what I wanted, and so I did the Tiberius sketch and that blew pause, and it did well, man, and it did great. And so I was like, okay, I got something here, and
Hmm.
it's something I felt was new that hadn't been seen before.
Right.
And then I did a part two. You got
Hmm.
to follow up, and that went viral. And the part three, and I was like, okay, cool. Now I
Yeah.
got 3 videos that's doing well. People are sharing it. They're talking about it.
It's got
Now,
legs.
now they start to call me Tiberius and something. Like, okay, I don't want to get typecasted. I don't want to be the Debo only. You know what I'm saying? So right after that, I created my next series, sketch series was I'm Coming Too. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? And that's a sketch series that nobody even talks about anymore. The fans from years ago do, the day ones, but a lot of
Mhm.
people forget that was way before the Lesbian Homie, before the whole
Yeah.
crew was stupid, before my roommate pays all the bills. I'm Coming Too was I was getting stopped in public. I was getting stopped and they was asking me where Sade was. Or a woman would walk up to me and be like, I'm coming too. Yeah, so that was back in 2017. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Yeah, so
Wow.
things are starting to progress from there.
Okay. So it wasn't you had a few other sketches before you got to the Lesbian Homie.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Okay. And
Lesbian
once you
Homie. Go ahead.
I was just going to say once you got to the Lesbian Homie, things were already on and popping. You already was building a fan base,
Yeah.
and so just talk a little bit about how the Lesbian Homie came about.
So shout out to Essence Cash. She oh I keep saying the government. That's crazy. Actually, it might not be a government. That might be a stage name. But yeah, exactly. Um, she she DM'd me. She
Hmm.
DM'd me back in 2018 and just asked if I had any roles for her that she would like to work with me, and she liked my videos, and so I started getting that during that time when people would DM me asking to work, to shoot,
Hmm.
to act, you know. So a lot of times I would ask you, I would see your page, and I was okay, cool. You got usually there are people who are also creators as well. In this case, she was like doing modeling at the time, and so I asked her if she knew how to act, and she was like, "Well, she a fast learner, you know." So I said, "Well, cool." And I saw her, I looked at her page, and I do that. If I can't see you actually perform, I try to
Hmm.
see where I can see you at in my universe.
Right.
And I saw her aesthetic. She's a tall, very tall woman, and
Hmm.
her hair was very short at the time. She had a lot of tats,
Hmm.
and I had this idea where I had a joke where I always talk about lesbians or studs still just being women to me. You know, it's a joke. I got a rant years prior to me doing the Bigg Jah push where I'm talking about studs. Y'all, I get it. You're a mannish woman, but you still just a woman to me. To me, you just a sexy, tough tomboy. You know what I'm saying? So that's my joke I did years ago. And so when I saw her, I was like, man, I got this idea for you where you play a stud that I find out that I end up being attracted to. And
Hmm.
it ended up being this one sketch. The day that we shot part one, episode one of the Lesbian Homie was the first day I met her. She drove down here from the IE, and we met briefly, shook hands, went into the house, chopped it up a little bit, laughed a little bit. You know, you got to build some rapport. And
Right.
then we started talking about the character. And I brought my boy G Wayne over. Shout out to G Wayne. He plays Tay on the show. Me and him been shooting prior to that as well. Dynamite actor. He's been acting since he was a kid. Super funny creator. And I knew that he would play perfect. I'm a big tall guy. He's a lesser tall guy. You know what I mean? And so, but he got a big personality. He got great timing, comedic timing. He's
Hmm.
hilarious, and I thought that he and I would play off each other with being the mutual friend that we have together.
Hmm.
And so it worked out, and then that went. I had been doing a lot. By that time, I've had a lot of viral videos up until then, before then. But when that went, that was like, whoa. And it's a different pace from anything I had ever done. Most of the stuff I was doing was like kind of hood related, kind of like West Coast, LA hood comedy. You know, this is more like not really rom com yet. It kind of evolved into like rom com, but
Right.
it's mostly just me playing like a silly dude. It's
Yeah.
like you know, this lusting after this stud lesbian who wants nothing to do with me until she does. And so I kind of built that world. That first episode went viral, and I was like, once again, like the lesbian homie. I mean, like Tiberius or like um, I'm coming too.
Hmm.
Let me do another one. Let me
Got to
take the
keep it
story
going.
and build on it. And each episode, I was like thinking of ways, no script. I'm just like, are you pulling up? This is what we shooting. I got it in my head. I'm gonna tell you what to say, and y'all do your best to ad lib anything that you want to add to it, and let's just go.
So a lot of your early work was all improv, no script.
Oh yeah, it's no script, no script. I I started off writing once again film school,
Right.
and so I
Yeah.
started off there. But the way the social media world works is you can't keep up with the way you unless you got other writers writing for you while you're shooting and editing.
Yeah.
It's hard if you're shooting. I might shoot 4 or 5 sketches, especially back then when they were like six. They were like 1 minute sketches. I might
Okay.
shoot 5 of those, six of those in one day,
Right.
and you got to write those episodes out, write those scripts. You'll run out. And next thing you know, you're trying to keep up with the way you're shooting by writing it all. And at that point, I was like, nah, let me just do it here. I can move faster, and I was moving. I was
Hmm.
dropping damn near 11 videos a week. I mean, 11 videos a month on average during that
Man.
time. You know what I'm saying? I would love to get back to that, but my videos are a lot longer now. The
Yeah.
production value is a lot higher now, but it
Yeah.
might be possible. I know Dame would
You,
love
you,
Dame would
you
love for me to get to that. Dame is the driving force of when it comes to
ramp it
efficiency,
up.
structure and efficiency.
Hmm.
Dame, it was a godsend, man. So yeah.
So Dame, let me ask you, where did you come into play once you guys got back together and Ja was doing all of the different sketches, and he went from the Tiberius the Hood Hitman to I'm Coming to, all the way up to the Lesbian Homie. Where did you uh, where did you factor in
So
getting?
so so before the label crashed and burned, before Funk Volume crashed and burned, I had the idea to do Funk Volume TV because I saw Odd Future get a show, and I
Yes,
was like, I was like, our guys are just as talented, and we got Ja who can bring it all together. So we
yes,
actually shot a couple of sketches that
Wow.
never seen the light of day because the label crashed and burned. But the vision was to have like a Funk Volume TV arm of Funk Volume as well, and that would have been super dope. And I think things would have taken off a lot sooner for Ja if we could have poured our resources into him and just given him a chance to just create more freely.
mhm,
So that idea, you know, died in the ashes of Funk Volume. But I always told Ja, like, because I would see his early sketches and I just knew they were funny. It was just about consistency. I
right,
was like, bro, as soon as you get consistent, you're gonna see traction.
yeah,
And I think, I just kind of helped him out informally. I don't think I formally became his manager until maybe 2019 or 20. Uh,
No, 19, I think.
19, yeah.
wow,
So, just trying to, just helping him out informally until about 2019. I was like, okay, looks like he's serious. If he's just consistent and we build out this infrastructure to continue to push,
mhm,
we've just seen, just like in Funk Volume, I just always saw the metrics go up. I'm confident because I've never seen our numbers decline or plateau. Like as long as we have ideas to keep pushing and we can keep putting content out,
mhm,
I know eventually somebody either going to want to work with us or we're just going to build our own business that's self-sustaining and we don't need nobody to rock with us anyway. So the
Right.
the numbers kind of break the wall down.
Yeah.
man,
So yeah,
no,
Dame was coming by and just being a homie. Hey man, if you want, I can try to do this. He'll make a phone call, try to
mhm,
connect me with this. And he never brought the management. He didn't come off as a manager. Dame
right. He just
is
wanted to help.
yeah, you know that manager energy. I'm sure maybe you don't, but like, I hear so many horror stories of managers that
Yeah,
a lot of people are eager to say they're a manager and
mhm,
posture as a manager and actually being of service and being able to help add some contribute to the management of your business or
right,
your career. And
right,
Dame is I feel like he's more in tune with helping you manage your career before just saying he's a manager.
hmm,
I think, I'm saying, I'm biased too. I think he's the best manager in the world, to be honest with you. But
hey,
for one, I believe he cares. I'm biased, but I'm not biased. I got homies who I would not trust with, I'm saying,
yeah,
who I
I know,
love,
I know,
who I
yeah,
love,
definitely, I
who I
know.
love. And when I say trust, I'm not saying they would betray me, but I trust, like, I trust his opinion. I trust his judgment. I trust his mindset. You know what I'm saying? I,
Mhm,
I trust his foresight. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not quick to do that when it comes to people. I know I'm not the smartest man in the world, but
mhm,
um, the goal is to be around guys who you think are smarter than you. You know what I'm saying? And so Not saying that obviously there are other people other than Dame that are smarter than me in my circle, but what I know I can learn something from, I learned something from Dame on the regular basis, even before he
Mm-hmm.
became my manager. So it was just, just made sense. And honestly, I think it's a blessing that I do have someone in my corner that I do trust wholeheartedly in all aspects of my life. You know what I'm saying? Not just the business part either.
Yeah.
It, I mean,
Now, Dame, I got a question for you, Dame.
yeah.
Early on, when you were coming around, seeing everything that Ja had going on, you saw his early successes. Did was that a role that you wanted to take on? Did you know that you would ever get into the managerial role for Ja, or
I,
was it just something that you saw that things were working for him, and you
Burnt
just
out
saw?
of managing.
I never wanted to be a manager. Like I just knew that I had the skills to do it. And
Mhm,
because when I started the label, like my brother and Hobson didn't have a manager, and it just didn't make sense from my standpoint for anybody to step in and kind of come between us. Like I just want to move fast. Like I want to move.
mhm,
Um, so I feel like I have a lot of the qualities to be a decent manager. And then if I find somebody, Ja, just because he's a good person, I care for him, and I believe in his talent. I'm a fan. I'm a fan of I would say 90% of the sketches. I'm a fan.
yeah,
So I want to see it win, and I know just kind of seeing what else is out there, like he's just as good or better. Like we can do this, and because we have the tools and resources now to build businesses independently, it's like it's only a matter of time, either like I said before, people really want to partner with us, or we build a healthy business on our own. But I don't look for people to manage now. Like I just want, like I don't want to manage anybody else.
right,
um it just happens if I
Right.
build a good relationship with you.
I think
yeah,
that's more than anything. It got to be the relationship between the two human beings have to be solid. You
hmm
gotta, I believe, you gotta like the person
yeah,
that's managing you, and you have
you
to
do,
like the person that you're managing. A lot of people don't. Based off what I'm hearing, they don't really like the person they're managing. So it's more very transactional. You know what I'm
hmm
saying? Of course, you gotta teeter the line. You gotta be professional because there's a brotherhood here as well between he and I. But I try to be as professional as possible because he is very professional.
hmm
But I think we do a healthy job of being friends and also being colleagues as well. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, there's just a mutual respect there. That's why it works. Like I know Josh's strengths, he knows my strengths, and we let each other do our thing.
hmm
Like he said, he trusts me to do what I do, and I trust him on the creative side. And what I really appreciate about Josh is that he lets me exercise some of my creativity too, because I feel like I'm a creative as well.
right,
So when I have ideas, like he's open to them, whether it's names of shows or ideas for shows. Like I'm working on a show with him that's a music series because I've lived in music since 2008. So it'll be similar to like a rap shit or a Dave. So we have an idea for a scripted music show.
wow.
So I'm super excited about that. So I appreciate him letting me exercise some of my creativity as well. That's fun.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely,
I
absolutely.
think,
It's also good to occasionally throw things at the wall and see what sticks. And you guys are in that unique space to where you don't have to follow set guidelines. You can actually do things and experiment and be able to see what works in the ever changing climate of technology and social media. So you guys are definitely in an interesting space, but it's the best space to be in right now, in my opinion.
yeah,
Yeah.
I
Hmm
agree.
hmm
It's the best time ever to be a creator, in my opinion, just
hmm
because you don't need. I mean, we've talked with a lot of bigger entities, and it's actually super surprising to me that nobody has picked up Ja and put him
Yeah,
on a different level already. Because I'm like, yo, this is like seeing Jay-Z in his prime and not wanting to sign him. Like to me,
yeah.
Yeah,
so
appreciate it.
but at the same time, it's like, okay, don't pick them up. The price will just get higher and higher every year because our business is only growing and we only have more ideas.
Right.
So, you
Do you
know,
think do you think that has something to do with maybe the title of your one of your most popular sketches, the Lesbian Homie? Do you think it has anything to do with that, or is it? I'm not sure if you guys are presenting more than just that to them,
it,
or if they know more than just that about you. You know?
it,
We discussed that too. Go ahead, Dan.
yeah, it's definitely part of it. It's definitely part of it. But if you do any bit of research, you'll like Ja has a ridiculous amount of range. It's like it's not on full
Yeah,
display.
sure.
It's not on because Ja's been on sitcoms. He's been on quite a few episodes of Bruh the first season. He's
Right.
been on Said the Entertainer's show as a guest, Mike Epps' show as a guest. So he does sitcom. He's done more hood stuff. He's
Drama.
done drama, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I think when the shows that we're working on now are way different than the Lesbian Homie, and they're not titled the Lesbian Homie, obviously. So I'm super excited so that more people can see the range that Ja has.
Right.
And even to answer your question, like I do believe that it might have something to do with that. But if you're just basing it off of the Lesbian Homie and not the other stuff before and
Right.
after, but
Right.
like because I've had things that I did the whole crew stupid was an already viral sketch show
Hmm.
before I even did the Lesbian Homie.
Hmm.
I was doing it simultaneously, I should say. I even went on tour back in 2019, a headlining tour with that brand. The whole crew was stupid, and
Right.
so it's bigger than just the Lesbian Homie. That's a very jarring title, but like just like the Awkward Black Girl was a jarring title that turned
Yeah.
into they just changed the name. It's the same show.
Exactly.
It's a great show.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And like so, the name. I'm not Lesbian Homie that was the name of the sketch app. The original title was The Lesbian Homie Got Body. That was the name of the initial. So I took that off as The Lesbian Homie. You know what I'm saying? But that can change too. That could have always changed. I'm
Right.
46 in now, so people
So
know that.
Kev, let me tell you something else that we run into, and I'm not going to name like names of companies, but what we
Okay.
run into time and time again is like there'll be someone that wants to get us in the door that potentially has the authority to not greenlight it themselves, but definitely run it up to
Mhm.
potentially get something through. That person typically has their own project that they're also trying to push through whatever
Yes.
system. So we're essentially competing with the person that claims they're trying to help us.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
we've seen that scenario probably 3 or 4 times now.
Yeah. I can
Um,
imagine. It's they're trying to position themselves so that way they can get their show greenlit, and they're using you to get themselves through the door in the same breath. And unfortunately, it sucks to be in that predicament and in that space. And I don't know if that only happens within our community and our demographic, or if it happens all throughout the industry. But I've heard stories of that as well. And it really shouldn't be that way. If there's interest there, you should definitely focus on what it is that you're interested in, and you shouldn't take the meeting if it's not you don't plan on doing anything with it.
right,
Uh, yeah, no, that's definitely interesting because you guys are, like I said, you guys are in a space that I think is the best space to be in right now. It's obvious, Ja, you've amassed close to 1 million followers on Instagram. I don't know what your following is on other social media platforms, um, but I was able to discover you that way. I was able to discover you through all of social media. A lot of people know who you are. You guys have obviously built up a empire, so to speak, on the independent level. You know how to make money doing it independently. You have several IPs. You have several shows. You're a comedian at the same time. Um, I don't see why somebody wouldn't want to take a stab at that, because there's a multitude of opportunity there that they're just leaving on the table instead of just focusing on that one show. That one show could lead to many other things,
Right,
and that people just aren't seeing that.
yeah. They'll
right,
see it. I mean, they'll see it when these next few shows come out. They'll
right.
see it. We're not tripping. Like it's a little bit annoying. Don't get me wrong. Like, cause
Yeah.
like it's frustrating. But at the end of the day, it's just like okay. Like I said, the price
Mhm.
just goes up every year because the business is doing well. We're not struggling.
Right.
So
Yeah. And I don't think that you guys are struggling whatsoever. I see the success behind everything that you've been able to do. You've obviously cracked the code. You know how to make money online and in the social media space. A lot of people don't know how to do that and be consistent at it. A lot of times it's lightning in a bottle for some people. and other times it takes a long time before they finally get their traction, or get to a place to where they can sustain it. So for you to be in that, that's why I'm saying, like, for you to be in that space already, you know how to operate, you know how to navigate. For me, if I was one of those execs, I would look at that as it's a learning model. It's several IPs. It's they know their business. You know what I'm saying? Like, they already have a following. They already have an audience. It, it's a win all around for me, in my opinion.
Yeah,
And that's part of the reason why I was also excited to talk to you guys, because you guys do know how to navigate in that space, and there's a lot of people trying to figure it out. To include people who are major stars and actors and whatnot, and when they're in between jobs and in between, you know, gigs, they're twiddling their thumbs. They don't know what to do, and then when there's a strike or whatever, they're lost.
yeah,
And it's crazy to me that more people aren't trying to get into this space and figure it out.
yeah.
I've
Well, it's
talked.
not easy. I mean, what Ja has probably made thousands of videos at this point.
Right.
Um, I'd be wanting him to be more present on social media, but like to be consistent for this long is it's a tough thing to do. I mean, typically people have like a creative burnout, and we've seen people like
Mhm.
just exit the space. I've seen music artists come and go. I've been in music for 17 years now. I've seen so many people come and go, and now
Right.
that I've been in this space with Ja, I've seen so many people come and go as well. Like, it's not easy.
I hate to
Yeah.
hear. I hate to see it. I be feeling like a lot. I feel like I lost one of my fellow soldiers, man. Like,
Yeah.
you in war, because this is like it's very difficult, especially if you're doing the narrative method that I'm doing, like the old school scripted. And now all my series are scripted now. My last unscripted series was season 2 of Lesbian Homie. That wasn't scripted either. It was outlined, but it wasn't scripted. But
Wow.
3 and 4, co-season, Room and Pays
Oh
All the Bills, are all scripted. And and then you got to get the crew and the cast and the rehearsals and all that. And it's not just throwing the camera up, a cell phone, and doing something funny
yeah.
consistently over there. That's hard too, though, because
Hmm.
it's like, even because Dame wants me to be more present online outside of just sketches and series, and it's not easy for me. Not because I don't like being in front of the camera. It's just I gotta mentally prepare to do it on the daily basis, by daily basis, consistently, and mental. The best way I can explain it is like the creative burnout.
Hmm.
Not justifying it, and I'm still gonna figure it out. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna make him happy eventually. You know what I'm saying? But like, you spend, like, after you drop a series, bro, you just want to sit down for a
Yeah.
minute. You don't even want to touch a camera,
Hmm.
and not that's not an excuse, because it's still, once again, push forward. Because I would tell anybody, bro, if you don't want it, you don't want it. If you want it, go for it.
Hmm.
Hey, I want it. I want it bad, and I feel like I'm showing it. And now, can I show it more? Yeah, for sure.
Right.
According to Dan, I can. And here's the thing: you need somebody like that, bro. You need somebody
Push you.
like
Yeah.
you need a Dan that's going, like, cool. What you're doing is great. Now what? What's next? What's next? What's
Hmm.
next?
Yeah.
And
But
that's the only way you
but
get better. That's the only way you get to the top.
that's the quality that both, I think, the creative and the manager needs to have. Like, you just have to be relentless.
Hmm.
Like, I'm gonna figure it out. Like, whatever it is. I mean, and I've been to school. I got my MBA. I've traveled. Like, our network is bigger now, so I should be able to get to anybody, right? Like, I might not know them directly, but now that I know Kev might open up a whole new door of people. And
Yeah.
and we pour into people right back. Obviously, we're not just looking to see what we can get out of people. We're always pouring. Ja's always doing stuff for people, to the point where I'm like, man, we gotta focus on our own stuff. But
Right.
Yeah.
I feel like you just gotta be relentless. Like, you can't stop.
Hmm.
I got so many different ideas. There's a way to figure it out with Ja's talent. Like, there's a way to figure it out.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
There's definitely a way to figure it out. Um. Yeah. I don't know what to say quite to that, so to speak, but there is definitely a way to figure it out for
The
sure.
first way is to love it enough to do it without the
Consistently.
gratification. Delayed
Yeah.
gratification is heavy. It's
Yes.
not like going to law school or med school. And then after you graduate from med school, you do your in house. You know what I'm saying? And then you find your way in somebody's hospital eventually. You
Mm.
know, you could be doing this for years, stand up comedy, acting, producing content, and not see a dime from it, and not get
Right.
on. Not, you know, I'm blessed to be in the position that we're in. So
Right.
definitely grateful. But
Yeah.
I feel like the time when I wasn't financially successful doing this, I was working just as hard, if
Hmm.
not even harder. Honestly, you know what I'm saying? Because I love this. I love this so much. So if to figure it out, first and foremost is to love it. If you don't
Hmm.
love it, it's not going. I feel like the burnout is easy. It's just like any sport. And like you're gonna burn out in football. You're gonna burn out in basketball. You're gonna be tired. You got 82 games. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like, but you still got to get out there and play. You know what I'm saying? Even when your calves are sore and your back is tight, you got to
You still
figure out
gotta
how to
do it.
stress that out and get back on that court. So because you love the
Absolutely.
game so much. So that's kind of where we are here. It's like we have sport backgrounds and we just aggressive towards this. Even when we don't feel like doing something, we got to do it because I love it. Because the good outweighs the bad, and there's very little bad. To me, there's no real bad. The only
Hmm.
bad is seeing other people fall off and lose the drive. That bothers me when I
Right.
see that with other people that I care for, other people that I admire. There's a lot of creative, but I also understand this is a hard profession to be in, whether it's at the Hollywood level or at the
Yeah.
social media level. Really, at the social media level, you have less resources, less
Right.
financial backing,
You're on your
and
own.
you got to go even harder because there's no off season. So with social media. There's
Yeah.
no off season. There's no pilot season, and then you finish your season, and you can sit down for 2 or 3 months before you start again. Nah, it's every
Mhm.
day.
Yep.
You
It
know?
has to be, and it has to be every day. I mean, just on my side of things, you know, if I miss a day or two, or if I take the weekend off, my engagement level, the reach, all of that stuff starts to you start to see a little dip or a little decline, and you're like, oh, I got to get it back up, you know.
Yeah,
So you're constantly working that angle every single day, and you have to show up. And to your point, you have to love it. You got to want to do it. You got to want to show up for it, regardless if there's one person in the audience or a million people in the audience. You know,
right.
um, you got to be there for it and not do it for the likes or the comments and the
Do
love.
not
You know,
do it for the likes.
yeah, you got to
That's
do
the
it for
key.
for yourself.
Yeah, do it for yourself. Do it for the passion. You gotta love it. You gotta believe in it too. I
Mhm.
believe in it. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right. So let's talk a little bit about the monetization side of things. I'm not pocket watching. I don't want to know actual amounts or anything like that. But um, once you got it to the point to where you knew you were able to monetize on these different platforms, um, can you talk a little bit about like how that works from a independent creator level to be able to be self sustaining and to to stay afloat and create a business for yourself ultimately?
Put it back. But
Yeah.
your mindset, put that money back. So initially, I wrote everything. Even if I didn't write it on the page, I wrote it in my head. And a
Hmm.
lot of times, I work with the same people for years. So
Hmm.
I know what I'm getting from him. I know what I'm getting from her, and we feed off each other. So a lot of times, I have the skeleton of the sketch, and then they bring what they're going to bring. They bring their specialty, their bars, we call them bars, the joke bars and whatnot,
Yeah. Yeah.
and with my direction, and then we come up with a lot of dope things. Then we got into the space where I'm scripting everything with the series. Is I
Mhm.
wasn't able to do that without the monetization with the small sketches, starting off small, 1 minute
Mhm.
sketches, and before the monetization, try to find ways to attract a business that wants to ask you to promote their brand or their product
Mm.
with your creativity. You know what I'm saying? So even before I was monetized on any platform, I was getting brand deals. They weren't a lot of money, but I could put it towards my rent. I can't pay my full rent yet, but I can
Right.
put it towards the rent, and that was enough motivation for me to keep going. Where
Right.
I didn't even have a lot of followers. I might have had 10,000 followers, and that might be a lot to some people. So there's levels, of course. I knew when I only had 1,100. 1,100 I was happy to have 1,100. Then I got to 10,000. Then I had my first brand deal was around 10,000, where I got paid $500 to promote a product. I was juiced. I was rich at that point. I was like, oh man, all I got to do is come up with a creative way, a 1 minute promo to produce to promote this brand or this product. Oh,
Hmm.
I went crazy with it. And as a storyteller, that was my specialty. I think was trying to find creative ways to promote this brand or this product and get paid for it. And I started there, small, and then worked my way up to being able to ask for more money and or being offered more money.
Right.
And this all from creativity. I dreamed about this. I used to
Right.
sit in my classroom dreaming about ways to be creative and to get paid for it.
Yeah.
You know, so
Did you know to reach out to these brands, or did the brands just reach out to you because they saw your following and your audience?
I didn't know initially. I didn't know nothing. I just knew how to create. I didn't know how to reach out to brands. I mean, of course, I didn't take the time to like, do I email them? Do I go to a website and try to find a way? And I didn't know just yet. They was DMing me. They were reaching out to me,
Wow.
and that was cool. Or emailing me, and that
Hmm.
was dope. And then things started to progress when Dame hopped in. When
Hmm.
Dame hopped in, that's when things outside of just monetization online happened. Brand deals and just being able to talk business with other companies. When
Right.
Dame popped in, that's when things just started to expand. You know, before I was able to do it myself, but not at the level that he is able to. Hence, this is what he did. He's been doing this for years. Doing
Hmm.
the content is what I've been doing for years. That comes naturally to me.
Yeah.
Being able to discuss percentages and numbers and going back and forth, talking that's
That's
his
Dame.
thing, and he's
So
dope at it.
we're in a tough space right now with the brand because if John's doing something called the Lesbian Homie, it's not as brand safe. So there's probably what I would refer to as like only a few like alternative brands. That's how we developed a relationship with Blue Chew. But now that Ja is doing like higher quality, longer form series,
Hmm.
we typically monetize in 5 ways, right? We try to get a brand involved. That's one. And then we'll start dropping the series weekly on Facebook and YouTube. So there's Facebook revenue, YouTube revenue, and then while it's dropping weekly, we'll sell the full version on our website. So if you watch the first episode and you want to jump ahead and watch the whole thing tonight, you can go to bigjah.com. So there's a direct sales component as well. So that's four. And
Hmm.
then we only put it on Tubi last because typically the brand requires us to put a commercial before each episode. We're not
Okay.
allowed to put a commercial before each episode on Tubi, so we have to wait for all the episodes to come out on YouTube and Facebook, and then
Hmm.
we put it on Tubi. So
Got it.
that's the fifth. That's the fifth. And then outside of like his series, the other revenue streams are merch, and then brand deals from his sketches, and then he appears in other independent films and different projects, things like that. So he'll still do that in between his own projects as well.
No, that's that's a it's a good formula to have, and you already, it's like you're tapping into all of the sources to be able to monetize and um, pull in that revenue, and it's a smart way of doing things. You have product placement, and as well as commercials or advertisements in between and before the episode begins. So those are all ingenious ways to be able to incorporate another brand into your project, and sometimes without even it making it seem like a commercial.
Right. So,
um
so that's why I really wanted to. Well, one, I'm in music, so I feel like we can create something that's super authentic that would resonate with artists everywhere.
mhm.
But because I've been in music so long, I feel like I believe I'll be able to raise some sponsorship dollars through a music show because it would just make a lot. It's going to get a lot of attention, and brands attached to it will get some great visibility. I'm sure Ja's going to knock it out the park. The show is going to be great. So It's another reason why I'm just excited to do the music piece because I can tap into so many brands that I already have relationships with just working in the music industry,
Right.
for so long. Um, So yeah, that's the play. And as we build our catalog over time, both on YouTube and on Tubi, we've seen more success on Tubi recently than on YouTube actually.
Mhm.
So we really see the potential there if we're able to build the catalog. If we
Right.
get to a point where we're dropping a show, every other month, that catalog is going to be valuable over time. So that's what we're racing to.
Yeah. Or even maybe try to work a way to where you can create a Tubi original series.
Yeah.
Hmm.
We're talking with them. We're talking with them, but we haven't come to an agreement. We want to do a to be original series. We're
Hmm.
gonna try our best to make it work. So we have to kind of educate them on how our business works, so
Right.
that the offer makes sense for us to do an original and give them exclusivity. So it's in the works.
Yeah. Yeah. What were you gonna say, Ja? I know you were gonna say something.
Oh no, I was saying the last also stand up comedy. If you're a comic, you can always go on the road. And I haven't been on the road
Yeah.
since 2023, I believe. But I've
Uh,
been shooting nonstop
yeah.
since then.
Yeah.
But that's also something that's going to probably happen in the next year or so. Is I'm gonna do another tour, and
I was
or
gonna
with
I
the
was gonna
film.
ask, were you ever thinking about doing a your own special or having your own specials?
Absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely. I haven't sat down and actually scheduled it yet, but for
Yeah.
sure, I do plan on doing that. Even with the films that I do, the goal is to and if not every film, damn near every film,
Hmm.
do a tour,
Hmm.
a major city tour with each film because like my series is 4 hours plus long. Can't really tour with that, unless you tour with a couple episodes. But with a film, which we'll be doing soon, this is the era of the series, But I'm gonna
Hmm.
get into that film bag, and I'm about to go crazy. And I
Yeah.
think even then, I really think I'll be able to start dropping every 45 days. You might see a new film from me. That's the
Wow.
goal,
Wow.
And I mean, obviously, we've been doing this for so long. Doing these series is great practice for a film because doing a series is harder.
Hmm.
It's
Hmm.
harder. It's longer. It's a heavier lift, and it's enjoyable. And then afterwards, you definitely enjoy it. But I feel like doing the movie would be a lot easier, a lot faster. Not easy, but when you put the work in, you put the hours in, it becomes a lesser task. So I don't want to make it seem like it's easy to make a film. It is not. But if you're doing it as long as we've been doing it,
Yeah.
we've been making films that within inside these series for the
Hmm.
last 3-4 years. So
Yeah. No, absolutely. I do have it's kind of an off base question, but it still pertains to TV and film. Are either one of you guys familiar with an app that is kind of come and gone, but it was called Quibi, and it was a mobile platform. Okay. And they ran out of money after 6 months. They went belly up, uh, and it was also during COVID. So there was a lot of factors that caused it to close its doors. But since then, obviously, social media has adopted some of those aspects that Quibi was trying to introduce to the U.S. by, with the reels and the shorts and so on and so forth, and extending the time frame. Have you ever thought about doing anything in that arena to where it's on mobile devices? As yeah, or even like shorts, maybe like a series, where every episode, like, you're already in that arena, but like an episode, 5 to 10 minutes, and you have like, a whole series is like, 10 episodes or 8 episodes.
So we haven't discussed making it an actual series, but what I have been telling Ja, and Ja's been doing it, kind of did it on accident, is to, like, if you have a vision for creating a full show, full series, like, just package it as a short reel and just introduce the characters, introduce the storyline, see if people gravitate towards it.
Mm,
Maybe do another reel. Just do it 60-second reel, 90-second reel, or 2 minute, um, just to
mhm,
test it to see if there's interest in that story. And if it gets traction, then you're like, okay, it makes sense to make this maybe a short film, or it makes sense to make it a feature, or makes sense to make a 5 episode series.
right.
So those short form content are a great tests to see
Mhm,
if you should invest. because Josh, we spend a lot more money to shoot a series. You know, we put a lot of money into that,
Yeah,
and you don't want to put all the money into that and see it flop.
very true. Hmm.
So maybe not. I mean, and it's not a bad idea because I've seen more and more people doing that. Brands doing it,
Yeah.
doing like short, like super short, like micro series.
Well, that's what I was kind of alluding to. I know, like in Japan and possibly China, they have these things called dramas, and there's several platforms that are similar to Quibi that are popular now, and they're amassing hundreds of millions of viewers and audience. But it's obviously it went away from the states, but it's become something that is starting to become a $1 billion industry overseas. And so that's why I was curious as to if you guys were ever looking into that space, because I feel like give it enough time, it's going to come back, and it's
Yeah,
definitely
I think Quibi. I mean, I think they made some mistakes from a business perspective for sure, but
Mhm.
I really think it was just timing.
Right.
A lot of it's just timing. You know, because I've been seeing the same trend. There's a character named Chit that I think the creator is a cat named Keel Kennedy, and they're crushing it with like it's a you know they just post reels. It's the Jods, the Chit, the that sketch that said, "Is there a black person here?" That one.
Yes,
Uh,
Uh,
genius.
I'm sure that they already have offers. Like I'm sure they already have offers for like a it's like an office style show.
okay.
But if you go to his page, it's just reels and it's just different scene. Everyone is a different scene and it's hilarious.
Yeah.
Um, so you have the option for people that feel overwhelmed or feel like they don't have the budget for a full film, like just start shooting very short scenes and posting it.
Hmm. Hmm.
You know, I
Yeah.
think that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I would say one other person that makes a good example of that, and you guys might be familiar with his work, Joshua Neal. Joshua Neal.
Joshua Neal.
He was the boyfriend on One of Them Days. He was SZA's boyfriend.
Yeah.
Okay.
The
Yeah.
huge.
Yes. he
Okay.
Yeah.
does he does a lot of shorts as well, and he's been able to garner some stardom there as well, and he has a huge following online. It surprises me that he's actually not gaining as much traction as he should, but
I
yeah.
follow him. Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm.
Dope. I mean, like, there's a lot. You just have to be creative. There's a lot of ways to get your creativity off and build a community.
Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely, absolutely. Well, guys, really, this was more of a conversation than it was, an interview. But I definitely enjoyed, meeting you, speaking with you, learning from you. There's still a lot more to learn, and I'm definitely going to keep my eyes peeled if I have any capability of, helping pass you along to somebody that might be looking for talent in your space. I'm always a proponent of sharing the knowledge, giving people opportunity or passing along an opportunity if it presents itself, and if I see it in any capacity to where I can help, um, I'm down to help. I'm
Yes,
down
sir.
to be a part, man, and be a part of the Bigg Jah and Dame Bigg Jah and Dame team, man. I got one more question for you.
Yes, sir.
Where did To the Max come from?
To the maxes, man. My brother Malik, man. He used to always say that. He still says it a little bit still. He would say not
Okay.
in the way I do, but he was always saying to the max, man. I love you to the max, bro. He would say it like in a conversation, like, man, yeah, he was turned up to the max. And so that was something he would say all the time. So I was like, man, and I was thinking of ways to push my brand,
Hmm.
Bigg Jah. Before
Hmm.
my name is Jah is him on IG. Before I changed it to Bigg Jah, and then so even with the to the maxes, they just do it is Nike, right?
Right, right.
Um, do the do is Mountain Dew. You know what I mean? And, Sprite is obey your thirst. I'm like, what's going to be my slogan that kind of embodies how I get down? I do everything to the max. I'm a big
Hmm.
guy. My clothes are to the max. You know what I'm saying? And, I'm loud. You know, and I go there when it comes to my comedy. Once I'm able to be not just on YouTube and other platforms where I'm not censored, you're gonna see how much to the max I go. You know what I'm saying? But like,
Yeah.
so it's basically a go hard or go home.
Hmm.
Just do it to the max. You know what I'm saying? So when I say to
I
the
love it.
max, it's
Yeah.
everything from life to your efforts and sports. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Push it to the max, to the
Yeah.
limit. So that's where it comes from. Do everything. Love yourself. Love your family to the max. Do everything to the max.
Yeah. It's clever. It's catchy. Um, I definitely think it's your calling card,
Thank
so
you,
to
brother.
speak. Um, yeah, that was one of the questions I definitely wanted to ask before I let you guys go. All right. Well, I like to let my guests have the final word, whether that be a quote that they like to live by, words of encouragement, or a piece of advice, either that was passed down to you or you'd like to share with the audience. You can say one of the three, or you can say all three. It's up to you.
I always give people the same advice, man. This is the formula where you will not lose, right? You work hard, you surround yourself with good people, you continue to learn, you take care of your mind and body, and you give back. You do those things, I promise you, there's no way to fail.
No way to fail.
There's my advice.
That's it right there. Mine is very similar in different ways. Like be walk with the attitude of gratitude. You know what I'm saying? Be of service and also and let the people around you be of service. You
Hmm.
know, so if you are coming up in whatever field you're in, make sure that you helping other people come up as well. And so
Absolutely.
like even though as much success as I've gained over the last 8 years, um, I'm never too big to help somebody else. I'm never
Hmm.
too good to help somebody else. If someone's asking for advice or if I can help them in any way, I will because I love seeing people at the top while I'm at the top or while I'm trying to get to the top.
Right.
So it's not, there's no egos here with me and, build as you climb, man.
Build as you climb. Yeah, I love it, man. Well, Jah, thank you so much. Dame, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure to have both of you guys on. Ja, if you could let everybody know where they can find you. Obviously, everybody, I'm sure there's a lot of people who already know, but just go ahead and plug your brand, man.
Yes, indeed. I'm on all platforms from YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Snapchat, Bigg Jah, two G's, BIGGJAH. And please, if you find yourself inclined to, go to Tubi and watch the Lesbian Homie series, season 1, 2, 3, and 4. They're all
Hmm.
four on there. And even if you've seen it on YouTube, go ahead and go Facebook, I mean, to Tubi and watch it again and share it. Because everybody ain't seen it. There's 8 billion people in the world.
Right.
So everybody ain't seen it. So share it. If you've seen it and you liked it, please share it to everybody else.
Absolutely. And Dame, what about you? Where can we find you online?
I'm most active on Instagram at dame.mec. I've been messing around with threads a little bit too. There's a lot of people lying on threads. I mean, there's a lot of people lying everywhere, but it's like a bunch of fake opportunities on thread. I'm like, what's going on
Yeah.
here? Anyway, yeah, at dame.mec on Instagram. Everything I do is in my bio. Rock with me.
Yep.
Yes. Well, again, once and for all, we got Bigg Jah and Dame Ritter.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Kevin. The Black Script. And we out.